Chevrolet El Camino Second Generation, 1964 to 1967. Chevrolet reintroduced an all-new, midsize El Camino 4 years later based on the Chevrolet Chevelle. The 1964 model was similar to the Chevelle two-door wagon Ford of the B-pillars and carried both Chevelle and El Camino badges, but Chevrolet marketed the vehicle as a utility model and Chevelle's most powerful engines were not available. Initial engine offerings included 6-cylinder engines of 194 and 230 cubic inches with horsepower ratings of 120 and 155 horsepower, 89 and 116 kilowatts, respectively. The standard V8 was a 283 cubic inch Chevrolet small block with 2-barrel carburetor and 195 horsepower, 145 kilowatts, with optional engines including a 220 horsepower, 164 kilowatts, 283 with 4-barrel carburetor and dual exhausts. Added to the El Camino's option list during the course of the 1964 model year were two versions of the 327 cubic inch small block V8 rated at 250 and 300 horsepower, 186 and 224 kilowatts, the latter featuring a higher compression ratio of 10.5 to 1, larger 4-barrel carburetor and dual exhausts. El Caminos also featured air shocks in the rear, as well as fully boxed frames. The shocks were continued over all generations, the frames only through 1967. The 1965 El Camino received the same facelift as the 65 Chevelle, with a more pronounced V-shaped front end, and a higher performance L79 version of the 327 engine rated at 350 horsepower, 261 kilowatts, that was also available in Chevelles. Most of the other engines were carried over from 1964, including the 194 and 230 cubic inch turbo Thrift 6s, the 195 horsepower, 145 kilowatts, 283 cubic inch turbo Fire V8 and 327 cubic inch turbo Fire V8s of 250 and 300 horsepower, 186 and 224 kilowatts. In 1966, GM added a 396 cubic inches, 6.5 liters, V8 engine to the lineup rated from 325 to 375 horsepower, 280 kilowatts. The 1965 327 would run low 15s in the 1/4 mile, at some 90 miles per hour, while 1966 to 1969 models were easily into the mid to upper 14s. New sheet metal highlighted the 1966 El Camino, identical to the Chevelle. A new instrument panel with horizontal sweep speedometer was featured. Inside, the standard version featured a bench seat interior and rubber floor mat from the low-line Chevelle 300 series, while the custom used a more upscale interior from the Chevelle Malibu with plusher cloth and vinyl or all-vinyl bench seats and deep twist carpeting, or optional strato swivel bucket seats with console. A tachometer was optional. The 1967 El Camino followed the Chevelle's styling facelift with a new grille, front bumper, and trim. Air shocks remained standard equipment on the El Camino, allowing the driver to compensate for a load. The 1967 model year also brought the collapsible steering column and options of disc brakes and turbo-hydromatic 403-speed automatic transmission. It was the second year the 396, L35, L34, and L78 could be had in the El Camino, both 13,480 300 Deluxe Base and 13,680 Malibu Series. Since the L35 396 325 horsepower engine was the base for the SS 396 series, the number of L35 engines reported sold by Chevrolet in 1967, 2,565, were sold in one of the two El Camino series, which were the only other series the engine could be ordered in. Since the L34, 350 horsepower, 261 kilowatts, and L78, 375 horsepower, 280 kilowatts, were available in either El Camino series as well as the two SS 396 body styles, there is no way of knowing how many of these optional engines went to which body style. Chevrolet does report 17,176 L34 and 612 L78 engine options were sold in 1967 Chevroles, but there is no breakdown of body styles. The TH400 3-speed automatic was now available as an option, RPO M40, with a 396 engine in both the SS396 series and the 396 equipped El Caminos. The 3-speed manual transmission remained the standard transmission with a heavy-duty, RPO M13, also available along with the 2-speed Power Glide and either M20 wide ratio or M21 close ratio 4-speed transmissions. Although there was no actual factory El Camino Super Sport until 1968, many owners have cloned 67 SS396s using 1967 Chevrolet S396 badges and trim.